So real fast, when it comes to my manuscript, I accuse James Wan, writer of all the Saw movies, writer of the motion picture Dead Silence. I'm accusing James Wan of stealing my manuscript titled Pale and changing it into Dead Silence. By the way, Pale, title of my story, also means Wan. His last name's Wan. They both, same word. And his character is Ashen. That also means pale. That also means Wan. When you look at the story, it's an old lady and a baby, and she loses her baby. And she burns her hands off trying to save her baby's life. So a 10-year-old boy makes fun of her baby, and her hands are like healed. She has her hands back, and a 10-year-old boy makes fun of her baby, which is linked to her gift as a pianist. And she kidnaps the 10-year-old boy, puts him in a secret room below her bedroom window at her house, out in the woods at the river. In the motion picture, a 10-year-old boy makes fun of her about her puppet baby. She kidnaps him, puts him in a secret room in her bedroom wall, and it's linked to her gift as a ventriloquist, her puppet baby and her tongue. So James Wan has basically switched it. There's a Henry in both scenes that witness the boy making fun of the elderly woman. You get the theme of you get the feel of an old woman having a baby, which old women do not have babies, first of all. Second of all, I did that on purpose. I made a story purposely as a trap, a booby trap. And James Wan fell into the trap. Then you have 80 years later in mine, 60 years later in his, where Henry now warns the main character about the old woman ghost. The main character is Caucasian, light brown hair, light brown beady eyes, accused of a crime the old woman committed. In my book, it's the mom and dad. In the movie, it's the wife. And the main character is harassed by a detective in the small, desolated town. They end up in a stakeout together at the old lady's house at the river in the woods. In the movie, the lake. He switched a few things around in the end that my character Sarah did, and he lets the character finish it up with 3-4 scenes that Sarah did in mine. Basically, James Wan's a thief, and I'm gonna expose him. I'm willing to settle for $3 million out of court. It's gonna get big. It's gonna get nasty. I've never came after him seriously before. He is a thief. He needs to settle up, or he needs to go down. His name needs to be known for what it really is, a thief. That is completely shunned on in the writing world. You cannot steal someone's manuscript. He wants the praise of creating the story, and it's obvious it's mine. Even when the young guy sees the old lady for the very first time. In mine, I describe his heart beating really, really, really fast, and she's in the window. And in the movie, what? She's behind a curtain, a window curtain, and there's the sign is beating outside the window, sounding like a heartbeat. I mean, and then he just steals one thing after another. You can see the scene where he's real depressed about his wife being murdered, and you see the leaves fall down in the background in slow motion. In mine, same story. He's depressed about his mom and dad being killed. That's linked into the detective chasing him around town. Both stories, the same story. He stole the story. He needs to settle up.